Hey guys, it's me Carly coming at you with another video. I hope you guys kicked your new year off to a good start. Happy 2019 people. And today's video topic is one that I already have recorded on my iPad, but I didn't know how to upload it to YouTube. And it would not let me upload to YouTube. It just kept saying error, and I have no idea how to upload videos from my iPad to YouTube. So if you guys can give me advice on that, have any suggestions, and it says the maximum length you can upload is 15 minutes. But even I made another video on my iPad, it was 13 minutes, and I still couldn't upload. So does anyone have any advice? And I don't have a Mac computer, I have a Dell computer, so I don't know. So if you guys can give me a link or give me advice on how to do that, that'd be great. And also advice on how to edit video clips together. Anyways, into the subject of this video, or shall I say subjects, because I'm going to be covering two topics. One, the new live-action Kim Possible movie, and two, the treatment of Mary Jane Watson. Oh my gosh. Okay, the Kim Possible movie, guys, it looks really lame. Like, Ron and Kim casting are okay. The little boy who plays Booker from Raven's Home is going to be Wade, and I thought he was a good casting choice because people are like, well, Wade's way too the actor for Wade looks way too young. Well, he is like 10 or 12, okay, and Wade in the original series was 10 years old, and Kim Possible in the original was 16, and the actor and the actress playing Ron and Kim are at least the age, or they are the actual age of the characters, and they're not just like someone my age, I'm 23 by the way, playing a teenager. Does that make sense? Because then you got like shows like Vampire Diaries or Pretty Little Liars, where you have like 30-year-olds playing 16-year-olds, and I guess that's okay because it's getting around child labor laws. But the scene I watched in the Kim Possible movie is she's running down the street with her hair down, in jeans and Converse, to the bus. Like, you could just ride your bike to school or have someone drive you to school, and what happened to Ron's moped thing that he had? Was that only in the movies? Because you could have gotten a ride on that, or had Wade hook you up with some cool bike to get you to school. But you're here running down the street in pink Chuck Taylors, which, by the way, personal experience, those shoes are not good for running in. They hurt my feet. They're not good for, I walked in them. I walked to town in them. And I walked on a hill when I was staying at my aunt's house. And they are not comfortable. My feet hurt after walking in them. So I can't imagine running down the block in them. Oh, and then she sees the stroller running away from her, and she does a stupid tumble and grabs out her grappling hook, because everyone has one of those, you know. It's like made from a blow dryer, which I think the original one was. And she grabs the stroller, and then the person is like, "Thanks, Kim." And instead of saying, "No big," Kim's like, "No problem." It's like, no, her catchphrase is, "No big." And then she sees the bus. The doors are about to close. And then she uses her grappling hook to swing to the bus. And she's like, made it. And booyah! From Ron. But I'm just like, how the hell are you able to take a grappling hook on the bus with you? I mean, isn't that considered a weapon of some sort? Because you can, like, use it to strangle people. Not that I encourage that. And, like, the spikes. And you can't even bring a thing that looks like a gun to school. Because that's what her grappling hook looked like. But she can take a grappling hook on the bus with her. And, like, no one questions it. It's not a matter of a question. And right now, I know it's a Kim Possible movie, but I want to know who's playing Monique. I want to know who's playing Bonnie. I want to know who's playing Jim and Tim. Kim's twin brothers, her mom and dad. I know who's playing Ron from some show that I don't know the actor's name. But I don't know. This movie looks like a cheap high school film. Like, they were like bored and decided to do a shitty reenactment of Kim Possible. So I'll save further judgment for later after I watch the movie. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the Kim Possible movies. On the Kim Possible live action movie trailer. Now moving into my subject of the treatment of Mary Jane Watson from the Spider-Man movies. Guys and gals, I cannot stand the way they treat this character. Okay? Because, like, especially in live action. Because in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, all Mary Jane was a damsel in distress. Okay? She didn't do anything useful. And all she did was get kidnapped, thrown off of buildings, and then scream and, like, was a love interest for guys. I mean, first she dates Flash Thompson. Fun fact for those of you who don't know, Flash Thompson, or at least the actor who plays him, is now Slade Wilson in the DCEU universe. So that's pretty cool. And then, after she breaks up with Flash Thompson, she starts to date Harry, which is fine. She's in high school, so she's got to explore her options. That's okay. And then she kisses Peter while she's dating Harry, but she doesn't know it's Peter. She's kissing Spider-Man upside down. And then, yeah. And then at the end of the first movie, gets kidnapped by the Green Goblin, almost thrown, dropped to her death, and screams her head off, because that's what she fucking does every movie. And then she kisses Peter in the graveyard, touches her mouth, and cannot put two and two together that those were the same lips when she kissed Spider-Man. So yeah, so that basically sums up Mary Jane in the first movie. The second movie, she is in love with Peter. She still doesn't know that Peter is Spider-Man until the end of this movie. And she's dating J. Jonah Jameson Jr., who she does not really love. She's dating the chief editor's son. Sorry, stuttering, I didn't mean to. She doesn't really love him, but she's engaged, and, like, but she still loves Peter, and I guess, she doesn't owe anyone anything, but it just annoys me how she's kind of playing with her the boy's emotions just because she's mad at Peter. And then she makes her fiance, the son of J. Jonah Jameson, as in J. Jonah Jameson Jr., that's a mouthful, kiss her upside down to see if she feels anything. And she's engaged to him throughout the whole movie, but she goes and meets Peter for lunch and asks Peter to kiss her, knowing she's engaged, to see if Peter has feelings for her. And up until then she finds out, then a car gets thrown through the window. She's kidnapped again, because this would not be a Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie if Mary Jane was not a damsel in distress, because I'm sorry, but that is basically all she was. She gets kidnapped, held hostage, blah blah blah. Then she finds out that Peter is Spider-Man after being saved, and then, they love her, and then she goes to get married on J. Jonah Jameson Jr., only to pull a runaway bride type move, and she's running through the city in her wedding dress back to Peter's apartment. And she's standing there in his wedding dress, and she abandons her poor fiance at the altar. Like, look, I didn't care for J. Jonah Jameson Jr., and I didn't care for him all that much, because, let's just face it, he was in this movie to create some type of love triangle or love square between Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Mary Jane or whatever. But now she knows Peter's secrets, and she tells him, this is what she tells him at the end of the second movie: "Don't you love me enough to make my own decisions? I want to be with you, and I want to take those risks with you. I love you, Peter." And then, "Go get him, Tiger." And then in the third movie, all of that goes out the window, because now she's mad at Peter for being Spider-Man and saving people, and apparently she's doing, once again, nothing useful. I'm sorry, but Mary Jane could have frickin' died. And I'm not just saying this to offend the Mary Jane fans. She could have just fucking died, and nothing would be affected. And then, of course, the third movie, Peter becomes an asshole. She's jealous again. Oh, okay, she has probable cause to be jealous because he's being a dickhole. And then she kisses Harry for some reason, gets kidnapped for the umpteenth time, almost falls to her death, and then Peter saves her, and once again, when she's kidnapped, she is doing absolutely nothing useful. Like, look, I'm not saying she has to be a reporter, because there's this running trend that if your man's a superhero, somehow you end up being a reporter or another superhero. I mean, this isn't the case for all of them, but you have Lois and Clark, and then you have Iris West Allen, and then you have Mary Jane. In some adaptations, she's an actress, and I know that she had a hard home life, which they didn't dive into, and then she just literally does nothing. She just gets kidnapped, is a love interest. She's in a love triangle with all these damn guys, and she's probably, I hate saying this, but she was not a useful character. She had no agency outside of being a love interest, and she just, I'm sorry, Kirsten Dunst. You deserved better than what you got in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. And, sorry, but Mary Jane was just not a good character in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Then you have the Andrew Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man movies, where Shailene Woodley is playing Mary Jane, But is she in the movie? Oh no. You don't even put her... You put her in... You, like, crop her out of the fucking movie to put her... Like, to put her down and prop up Gwen Stacy. And we thought that Gwen Stacy's death was a catalyst to the... to Mary Jane becoming the new love interest, even though I didn't feel it was necessary that you have to kill off one love interest just to put in another, I guess. But it's just... Why did you even cast her if you weren't even going to put her in the fucking movie? She's just there. And like... she's not even there. And then I was okay with Gwen Stacy and Peter because that's a different love interest. And Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield had really amazing chemistry, and apparently they dated, so that helped their on-screen chemistry. But just why? Why do you continue doing this? And then you have Spider-Man Homecoming with this new character, MJ. Ew, don't call her that. Her name is actually Michelle Jones. And thanks to my friend, Chris, or the Wicked Merman here on YouTube, I don't like Michelle Jones. And no, it has nothing to do with her being black. And no, I don't care that she's played by a woman of color. But why? Why did you have to name her Michelle? Why couldn't you have just named her Mary Jane? And, like, give her the respect she deserves. Although my good friend here he doesn't, not only does he not like her character, but God, he does not like Zendaya at all. Him and his friend Max don't like Zendaya, so I thought that was pretty funny. But Michelle Jones is just rude, okay? Like, oh, why are you losers sitting at this table? Oh, well, why are you guys here? Well, what are you sitting at? What are you sitting here with us for, then? This is what she says to Peter and Ned, and then she's like, I don't really have any friends. Well, you're not gonna make friends if you're gonna call people losers, and you're gonna go out of your way to be rude to them for no reason. Like... And then make a snarky comment about how he quit, like, the science club. I actually don't remember what it is. And, like, oh, I'm just very observant. Like, did you really have to point that out in front of everyone? That's just rude. And then there's a scene where she's like, oh, why are you guys at this lame party? Like, well, Peter's like, well, you're here too. And then she's like, am I? I'm like, what are you talking about? You're weird. Like, ask him to go for a walk. Or say, like, hey, want to go for a walk? I'm going to go smoke some weed. Like, she should have said something like that. Like, because she looks like she smokes weed. And I don't know. And she gets propped up more than Liz. Liz, a sweet person. Liz is a kind, caring person. No, I have not seen the whole Homecoming movie because I'm only going based off clips I saw. But the whole Spider-Man Homecoming just turns me off because, one, you cut out Uncle Ben. And yes, I know that you're sick of seeing Uncle Ben die just as much as people are sick of seeing Martha and Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's parents, die. Or the Batman parents' death. Because that's been played out again and again. But if you're going to do a Batman movie, or if you're going to do a Spider-Man origin movie, find new ways to incorporate it. Don't just be like, oh, we're not going to show it. It's been showed too many times. Like, no, find a new way to incorporate Ben's death. Have him already be dead. Have him be dead. Have Peter have a flashback to when he died, have him have a flashback. Like, despite the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie's flaws, one of the few good things it did was instill Uncle Ben's message of, with great power comes great responsibility, or I want a life of my own. Uncle Ben, even though he was dead, he wasn't in the movie, he was still there in spirit, and he was still Peter's guide. But with Spider-Man Homecoming, it's like, look at all this cool tech that Tony Stark made me, and look, I guess Tony Stark is my new sugar daddy, and it's just like, no! And people are trying to make Tony Stark Peter's new father figure. It's like, no, he had a father, okay? In the first movie, in the final battle against Green Goblin, when Harry Osborn is like, you could be a son to me, Peter. And then Harry is like, not Harry, Norman is like, I could have been your father. And then Peter was like, well, I had a father, and his name was Ben Parker. So, yeah. Okay. Didn't mean to get off on a tangent about that. Now to the cartoon and the animated way they treat Mary Jane. They treat animated Mary Jane 10 times better than any live-action movie I've seen. She has agency. She's, in some adaptations, she's a photographer. I wish she would get into acting again, because at least with her actings, it would make sense because of her abusive home life, and she gets to escape from that, and that, like, acting is therapeutic for her. And then, like, have her be a photographer and an actress. I don't know. Have her do something. Give her some agency. Like, not every female needs a sword or gun to fight with, even though I think they should be able to be trained in gun safety and know how to defend themselves. But, I mean, in the cartoon with Drake Bell as the voice of Spider-Man, she actually has some agency and actually is helpful. In the newest Spider-Man game, still has some agency. She's broken up with Peter, but there's no animosity. I mean, there's some tension because they are former lovers and they still love each other, but they're not like, oh, well, I'm sick of you saving me type shit. It's more like, I hear my brother in the background making music, but she's not angsty when she is in danger, or when she is in some type of trouble. She's not being useless. She's actually doing something to move the storyline along. And the other thing that bothers me is that she's just, I'm tired of, I wish the live action universe would treat Mary Jane the way the animated universe does, as in better, because this is ridiculous that you guys keep treating her the way that Arrow treated Laurel Lance. And Arrow, live action Mary Jane gets almost as shitty of treatment as Laurel Lance from Arrow. Anyways, these were my thoughts on the live action Anyways, this concludes my thoughts on how they treat Mary Jane live action versus animated. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Leave suggestions. And I hope you guys have a great 2019 and have a good one.